If you need to, you can flip it over like so to get a good alignment. And then the lower side here in the middle. Switch out back to the screwdriver. Line it up and drive your screws in. Now you've attached the two sides to the back. Turn it back up right here. And now we're going to attach the vertical parts here to the base. Okay, now we're ready to put our measurements for the vertical pieces on the side, on the base here, so we know where to position it. And then we're going to mark where the vertical pieces go and then attach them here to the base. So let's get started with that. First thing I'm going to do is look at my drawing, and it basically says that we're going to go 3 inches from the back edge. So I'm going to mark 3 inches off here. And then just draw a line about halfway across the wood here, like so. And this is going to be the rear. And we factored in about 10 inches plus 3 here and 2 inches over here. So what we're going to come up with is 13 inches from this edge. Draw a line here. Once I have these two measurements here, I can take my vertical pieces and I'm going to line them up with the edge of the back along this rear line that I drew along here, and the right side I'm going to line it up here with this line that I drew along here. Once you've aligned your vertical pieces with the rear line and this right side line that you've drawn here, you now want to position the left side. Now you may notice a slight shrinking here toward the front from the wood, and that's to be expected. So what we're going to do now is use this heavy concrete block to put some downward pressure on the side pieces. Okay, it doesn't have to be real heavy. You can use some books again, or a box with some papers in it. And what we're going to want to do is measure the distance here in the back from left to right. In our case, it's 8 3/4 inches, and ensure that the front here is the same distance. As you can see, the initial measurement is about 8 3/8 inches. So we're going to look here and make sure that our left side is lined up properly, and then what we're going to do is push the right side over gently till we have 8 3/4 inches across this width here, which is going to be the same as the back. So now we have a perfectly square opening here. And so once we have these two aligned, get here in front. I'm going to hold this piece here and now draw a line along this outer edge. And then I'm going to reach on the inside and draw two parallel lines here also, and then a line across the back. Remove the block and remove my vertical pieces. If you can see, I now have U-shaped lines here, which I will go ahead and fill in with my straight edge. This is the outline of the vertical pieces here on the base. So now I can take my drill driver, put in my drill bit, and drill some holes within these lines, which I'm going to drive screws from the bottom then to hold the sides and back to the base. So you want to center your drill between those two lines, and I recommend at least 3 screws on the long sides, 2 in the back, and then 3 here on this side also. If you want to double check your depth, you want to get the first screw maybe within 1.5 inches of the front edge here. So I just set this back here on top, and my first screw is going to go in about right here. Second screw, and third. Two more across the back. Now we take the sides and back, and we're just going to reposition them here on those lines. Put our heavy block or box back on. And now we're going to reach underneath with the drill and drill vertically this way through the bottom to make holes up the sides here, and then we're going to attach them with screws. Now I'm going to take my drill, reach underneath here, and along this side here, which was our first line, I'm going to reach in and just drill back up through the holes I drilled a few moments ago, and drill straight up into the base. I'm sorry, from the base into the side. And then twice again here in the back along the back edge. After drilling your 3 holes along the right edge and along the back, you can take your drill or your screwdriver and go ahead and attach those 2 sides. Don't worry about the third side at this time. Make sure that the screws you use, that you're going to attach the vertical pieces to the base, the screws you drive up from the bottom, make sure that they're what they call a bugle head screw, such as this. As you can see, when you drive the screw up, it'll put a little indent in the wood and it'll fit flush with the base of, with the edge of the wood. If you use a a head that kind of protrudes, it's going to rub on your floor and possibly scratch or damage it. So make sure that the screws that you drive here on the bottom fit in flush with the bottom of the wood. Once you've driven the screws for this one side and the back, you can take your heavy block off, and then you can use it to position the third side. As you can see, I'm putting it in here. Let's move this a little bit here. As you can see, I'm positioning the block here to force this side out to line up here with the lines that we drew earlier. Then I take my screws and again attach the third side from the bottom. We now have all three sides firmly fastened to the base. As you can see, this went pretty quick, and now we have basically all four pieces firmly attached. The sides, the back, are now attached to the base, and now we're ready to do our finish work. And probably in the next 15 minutes or so, we will be done. Next, we're going to take our piece of 1.5 inch square lumber, and we're going to cut it to fit one edge of the base here. As you can see, from this end to this end here. This is where we're going to attach our wheels to this this block here, and the handle is going to go to the opposite end, which will allow you to lift it and move it much easier than having to pick it up and carry it. So we're going to measure, cut, and then screw from the bottom this piece of 1.5 square to one edge of our base. As you can see, we've cut it and attached it with 3 screws along the bottom here, and as I said, this is where the wheels are going to attach. Next, we're going to cut the same 1.5 square lumber for the edges along here. So I'm going to take these wood here and run it full length across the top here, lining it up with the front, mark it, and then cut it. You'll need 2 pieces, one for this side and one for this side over here. As you can see, I've now attached the 1.5 inch lumber to both ends here at the top, and as you can see now, the lumber in essence is kind of starting to block off the U cutout that we made earlier. But if you'll notice here from the top, you've got these grooves here.